Hey guys, it's Jill. Hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are going to be doing another, I know I have 2 in 1 month, but I wanted this one, I wanted to get this one out because it is soup season, you guys. It is so cold and dreary, and this past week for us has been rainy and gross. So I wanted to start working on some soup recipes, and they're all dump and go and they're all delicious. So I hope that you guys enjoy. So yeah, we have six dump and go crock pot meals up for you, and they're all soups. So let's go ahead and get into them, and I will come back and let you know which ones were my favorite. Okay, so for this dump and go crock pot meal soup edition, we are having beef tomato and acini de pepe soup. This is a skinnytaste.com recipe, and it is intended for the slow cooker, Instant Pot, or stovetop. And obviously we are going to do it in the crock pot. So what you're gonna need is 1 pound of lean ground beef, some salt and pepper, 2 bay leaves. You're gonna need 1/2 cup diced onion, 1/2 cup diced celery, 1/2 cup diced carrot, but since we are dumping and going, this is what I picked up. And you can just get this from Walmart. So yeah, you've got your carrot, your onion, your celery, and literally, like I said, just let me go. The recipe does call for you to saute that, but it's not going to make a difference. You can saute it if you want. If not, you can just dump it in there. You're going to need a 32-ounce container of beef stock. You're going to need a 20-ounce can or 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. And then you're going to need 4 ounces of a small pasta. This is the smallest pasta that I can get, but I know up north, because I'm from Buffalo, New York, and you can get the teeny tiny pasta up north. But down here in the south, this is the smallest one that I can find in my grocery stores, and that is what it's called. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on putting all of these ingredients in the crock pot. Okay, now I'm kind of getting a late start. It's Sunday afternoon, it's 12:30, so I'm gonna go ahead and put mine on high. You can totally do yours on low for 4 to 6 hours. You can do it on low for 6 to 8 hours. You can do it on high for like 4 to 6, however you wanna do it. For me, whenever I'm cooking soup, I always stand by the rule of the longer it cooks, the better it tastes. So, well, I mean, especially like with soups like this that are like broth based. So we obviously are not going to use the pasta. That is going to be the last step. So I went ahead, put my lid on, turned it on high. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this sit on high for about 4 hours, and then I'll come back, show you what it looks like, and we're gonna add in, I believe it's, how many ounces of this? 4 ounces of pasta, and we will have dinner. Now you can obviously leave the pasta and cook it to the side. I'm just gonna cook it in here. Yes, it will soak up some of the broth when you have it for leftovers, but you can just always add more broth as needed. So I will see you guys in 4 hours. We are back, and it has been about 6 hours. I cooked this on high for about 3 hours and then cooked it on low for the rest of the time. This is what it's looking like. I'm just gonna go ahead and take out the bay leaves, and we are just going to take 4 ounces of our pasta, go ahead, put it into the soup, go ahead and stir it around. Like I said, you can totally do this separate on the stove and not include it, because obviously noodles do soak up the broth, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back on high, and we're gonna cook this for about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm gonna come check it in 15 minutes. Since the noodles are so tiny, I feel like they might cook in 15 minutes, but I have tried this before, I've had this before, and it's just so delicious. So it's definitely something I highly recommend. And like I said, it's super simple, low in calories and fat and all that stuff. Recipe is linked down below because it's from skinnytaste.com, and it even has like all the nutritional information and whatnot. But I will come back and show you in like 15-20 minutes what it looks like plated up. Okay, so this is what we're looking like as far as the soup is concerned with the pasta in there. And this is the bowl. I honestly don't know that I've ever tried a skinnytaste.com recipe that I have not liked. Like I said, I've tried this before. Ow! Oh, turn that off. I have tried that before. It is absolutely delicious. And all I'm going to serve this with is some Parmesan cheese. On top, I have this stuff. And then I also have this stuff. So that is Dump and Go Crock Pot Soup meal number 1. I will see you later for number 2. Dump and Go Crock Pot meal number 2, soup edition, is actually going to be a taco chili, but it's still kind of soupy and comforting and all that stuff. So I decided to include it because this is one of my favorites as well. You're gonna need 1 pound of ground beef with some sauteed onions. So I go ahead and I do that. I've already mentioned that to you guys before, but some of the ones I will go ahead and brown up with onions, and that's this one. You're gonna need 1 packet of taco seasoning. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of ranch, but y'all, I love me some ranch seasoning and flavoring, so I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons. And in this recipe, you actually do not want to drain anything. So all of the everything is gonna go in here. So hold on, because I forgot my can of corn. Perfect, they all have the pull top except for the green chilies. Okay, so you're gonna need 1 can of corn, 3 cans of chili beans. So these are just red beans in chili sauce. They are delicious. Like I said, do not drain these. These are the only time that I'm going to recommend that you do not drain beans, because they have that delicious chili sauce in there that you want in this recipe for flavoring. Okay, then you're gonna need a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce and a 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. You are also going to need 1.5 cups of water, and let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so I am again running late. I seem to be running late with these a lot lately. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on, and we're going to cook it on high for 3 to 4 hours. Of course, if you want to cook it on low, do that for 6 to 8 hours. But like I said, I'm gonna cook it on high for about 3 to 4, and I'll show you what it looks like and how I serve it up. Okay, so it has been 4 hours. This is what it looks like. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so delicious. This is just so good with the chili beans and the corn and the ground beef and everything else that was put in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put these in some bowls. And I know the kids are gonna eat theirs with cheese, and I have some tortilla chips here, so we'll all have this on the side, and then I'm going to top mine with sour cream, so I'll show you what they look like in just a minute. So there's the kids' bowls, there's mine with some tortilla chips weighed out. I'm just gonna hand the kids the bag, and we're gonna go to town. This is so delicious. Like I said, I highly recommend this, and I highly recommend that you also add the extra ranch, because oh, it just makes it. I really think it makes it. Okay, so we're gonna go eat this, and I will see you for crock pot meal number 3. Okay, so for this Dump and Go crock pot meal, I'm super excited for. This is a copycat Olive Garden skinny zuppa toscana soup. And I've made this before, not this particular recipe, but I have made this before, and it was delicious. So I'm super excited to try it, and I'm also excited to try it in the crock pot. So what you're going to need is 1 pound of turkey Italian sausage. I ended up using this Greenwise mild Italian chicken sausage with kale. This comes from Publix, and this is the absolute best Italian sausage I've ever had in my life. Like, it is so good. I highly recommend, if you have a Publix, to get some. It is on the pricier side, but it is definitely worth it. And the macros, like, I mean, it's 5 grams of fat in one of these links. So super delicious. And then the protein is 14 grams of protein in one link. So I just have some browned up right here. And in that mixture, I have some Italian seasoning, some pepper, and some garlic powder. I will, of course, link the recipe down below. I know that the one that I made before had bacon in it, and this one does not have any bacon. So anyways, you're going to need this whole entire carton of chicken stock, which is 4 cups. The recipe called for 3 cups of cut up potatoes, but I just went ahead and used the whole bag, which ended up being 4 cups. So this is everything you're going to need right now. And then later on, once the soup has been cooking and the potatoes are tender, you're going to add in 1 cup of evaporated skim milk, some salt to taste, half a cup of half and half, and some kale. So let's go ahead and start dumping all of this deliciousness into the crock pot. So because what else is new, I'm getting a late start, I'm going to go ahead and cook this on high. Because you are going to want the kale to cook as well. So about maybe like 15-20 minutes prior to you wanting to serve your soup, you're going to want to throw in your half and half evaporated milk and the kale. But for now, we're just going to put the lid on it, turn it on high, and I'll see you guys back here in about 4 hours. It's definitely later than I wanted it to be for me to put the milk and stuff in there, but we're gonna go ahead and add our can of evaporated milk. Okay, and since it's already in bite-sized pieces, I'm just gonna kind of add it in there. And this is gonna wilt down. You kind of wanna and I may actually have more than I should, but I really like it when there's like a bunch of kale in there. I'm also going to turn this up on high. Y'all might be sitting here going, Jill, stop! You're adding too much kale. Because it might be different in the crock pot versus the stovetop. I don't know. But in the stovetop, I know when I made this before, I added a ton of kale. And it was delicious. So let me try to get a spoon. We're gonna put the lid on and let that cook for about 30 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so this is what we are looking like. Do you see all that kale, the potatoes, the sausage, the creamy soup base? It smells delicious. It tastes delicious. This is something, again, I highly, highly, highly recommend. And if you are okay with like adding a few more calories, definitely add the bacon, because that was a great addition to the last time I made it. But it's gonna be delicious just like this as well. So this is Dump and Go Crockpot soup meal number, is it 3 or 4? I don't know, can't remember. But I will see you guys for the next one. So tonight for this Dump and Go Crockpot meal, I am making chicken noodle soup. You can't have a crockpot meal soup video without including chicken noodle soup, right? Anyways, this is so incredibly easy. You are just going to need a whole roasting chicken. The recipe calls for like 3 pounds or 3.5 pounds, but I got a 5-pounder. It's gonna be fine. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put that in first and then put everything else around it on top of it. Just because like I want it on the bottom. It makes me feel safer knowing it's on the bottom. Anyways, I'm gonna use half a box of these crinkle cut carrots. We're gonna put in some thyme, 2 bay leaves, and 8 cups of chicken broth. So let's do this. I also forgot, you want to add 1 cup of carrot, 1 cup of onion, and 1 cup of celery. This is the little mix that I bought. And so I'm just actually gonna throw that in there first. It's definitely not a cup of each, but it was just easier, and again, it makes it dump and go so you don't have to like chop everything. But if you don't want to buy this little mix, it is 1 cup of each. It is right up there to the top. What we're going to do is we're actually going to throw some thyme on there. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this chicken out, and once it's done cooking, we're going to take it out and then we're going to cut it up and throw it back in there. So yeah, I'm like, should I put these seamables in there? I'm not going to put these carrots in there yet. I'm actually going to wait until the chicken is done cooking because we just don't have any room. But I definitely want to keep those carrots. These bay leaves that I got at the store were just not very good. Most of them are all broken and gross. Anyways, I would definitely suggest, especially if you have a 5-pound chicken like I do, that you put yours on low for the entire 8 hours. So I will check back with you guys in about 8 hours and we will cut this chicken up. Okay, so this has been cooking for 9 hours and this is what it looks like. The chicken kind of rose a little bit to the top. I'm telling you, this smells delicious, and cooking the chicken like this is gonna add, or adds, so much flavor to this broth. So what I'm gonna do now is take the chicken out. Now my recipe actually does call for me to add the noodles into the soup in the crock pot. I was gonna cook them separately. I'm still kind of undecided, but I do know that I need to go ahead and add this bag of carrots before I do anything. Also, you want to take the bay leaves out as well. Now we're gonna do 3 cups of wide noodles. Let me zoom you guys out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And while this is cooking, I'm actually gonna leave the lid off because while this is cooking, I'm gonna start taking this chicken and just start breaking it apart and adding it to the soup. Then I'm gonna pop the lid on so the noodles can cook, and I'll show you what it looks like. We're gonna serve this with some goldfish crackers. Yum, yum. Look at what my son did. I was like, who did this? It's so sweet. Anyways, this is what it looks like, and it looks delicious. And I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you. This right here, the broth, because the chicken's been cooking in it all day, is like so delicious. You've got to try this. It's so good. This is what it looks like. We have 2 more Dump and Go crock pot soup meals, and I will see you when I make them. For Dump and Go soup recipe number 5, this is one of mine and the kids' favorites. It's kind of funny. We call it stone soup. Which is something that Ava learned, my daughter, when she was in pre-K, and the name just stuck. But it's basically a beef vegetable soup. And one of these soups is one of those soups that you can literally just throw anything in the pot and it comes out delicious. Like, and I'm talking vegetable wise because it's a vegetable soup. So what I have here is some cut okra. a can of diced tomatoes, a can of tomato sauce, and it's one of the bigger cans of tomato sauce, like the 15 ounce. I have a 32 ounce container of chicken broth. I have 2 pounds of ground beef. I have some pearl onions. I have this bag that says vegetables for soup, which I highly recommend that this is the one that you guys get. And then we just have a bag of carrots. So we're gonna do half of the bag of carrots, half of the bag of onions. I normally would not do pearl onions. I would normally do frozen chopped onions, but this is all my store had, so we're gonna go with that. And I'm also debating because I usually put a pound of cut up red potatoes in here. But I'm debating on whether I should do that or not, because this mixture right here is actually potatoes, carrots, tomatoes, corn, green beans, onions, peas, and celery. So I'm just gonna see how it looks when everything goes in the crock pot, but let's go ahead and dump all this stuff in and then I'll let you know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna pop the lid on like normal, cook it for 8 hours, and I'll show you what it looks like. Probably like 10 minutes before I'm ready to cook, I'll put in some okra and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like. About 30 minutes ago, I went ahead and I added the okra. So we have got tons and tons and tons of veggies in here. Super delicious, super nutritious. So this is what it looks like. Obviously you can add more juice. My kids really don't like it that much, so that's why I don't add it. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It is super delicious and nutritious. And I will see you guys back later with one last dump and go soup recipe, which is actually going to be a chowder, which I've never tried before, but I'm super excited for. So I will see you guys then. For our last dump and go crock pot meal, we are making a corn chowder. So what you're going to need is this Bear Creek Country Kitchen creamy potato soup mix. You're gonna need a bag of corn. You're gonna need, this package says 8 cups of water. So I currently have 4. We're gonna see where we're going with that and how it looks. But we're starting with 4. We're probably gonna end up with 8 cups. This is for later. I'm gonna add some half and half, maybe like half a cup to a cup. And then also you're gonna want to use some kind of chicken. If you use fresh chicken, obviously you want to go ahead and add it into the crock pot now. If you use rotisserie chicken, then around the time that you're ready to eat, then you just go ahead and tear this up and throw it in there and then kind of let it cook for like 30 more minutes or something. So all we're gonna need at this point in the game is just these 3 things: the creamy potato soup mix, the bag of corn, and then 4 to 8 cups of water. But I am going to use 4 more cups of water because that's what it says on the package. This is obviously so incredibly simple, like, oh my gosh, we're done. Pop a lid on that, cook it on low for 4 hours is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come back in 4 hours and show you what it looks like. And from there, we'll start tearing up the rotisserie chicken and popping it in there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mix this around too. Like I said, I might add in some cream or some half and half. I probably won't, but I'll tell you if I do or not once this has been cooking for a while. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 5 hours, like 4.5 hours on low. It smells so good. And this is what we're looking like. It looks so delicious. I'm definitely not going to add half and half into this. My friend was just telling me if you like a creamier soup to, you know, you can put cream in there, but I see that it's already creamy enough. I'm going to go ahead and tear apart this, ow, be careful because this thing is hot. I'm going to go ahead and tear apart my rotisserie chicken. Obviously, I'm not going to use any of the skin, so I'm literally just going to, I actually am probably going to heat this up first because cold chicken is really hard to break apart. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna heat this baby up, and then I'm just going to pull it apart, throw it in the crock pot, and let that cook for about another hour or so. Okay, so I just microwaved it for about 1.5 minutes just so I can get the chill off. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. I just topped it with some crumbled bacon. I cooked the bacon in the oven, crumbled it on top. This is my cheese. I don't like my cheese to be melted in soup, so I'm just kind of like add it as I go. But yeah, that's Contrell's, that's Ava's. That's what it looks like. This is delicious. We can't wait to go eat. And this is the last of our dump and go crock pot soup meals. Okay, so the beef tomato and acini di pepe soup, whatever the heck that pronunciation is. That one was okay. I personally do like it better on, I feel like I like it better on the stovetop. The stone soup, again, which was the beef vegetable soup, that one, I should have put that one on high for like the past couple of hours of me cooking it because of the fact that, again, the vegetables were like kind of crunchy, and I've only ever made that on the stovetop. That's why I say also, like, the longer you cook something, the better it's going to be, the more the flavors can combine and just get together and just be delicious. The Olive Garden, like, skinny zuppa toscana, that we were not a fan of at all. So I will link that recipe, but I will also link another recipe that I tried before, and that one was just, it was so good. Like, I could have eaten that every single day. It was so delicious. So the recipe that I used, we were not a fan of. I'm actually going to end up giving that to my parents because I know they'll like it, but us, we were just like the taco chili. Oh my gosh. I forgot how much I love that recipe. It is delicious. It is so just hearty and good, full of protein, full of fiber, full of flavor. Oh, that was by far all of our favorites. Like, my kids are not leftover fans. They're not. But when I said we were having that the next day, they were like, "We're having the taco chili again? Oh my gosh, we're having." They loved it, and I loved it too. It's just, again, so flavorful, so delicious. Dip some tortilla chips in it. Oh, it's so good. So I highly recommend that one. The chicken noodle soup, again, that one was super delicious, and you get so much flavor from cooking the chicken in with the vegetables and having that as your broth in addition to the chicken broth that you add in there as well. So delicious. So these meals are so huge. I actually ended up like putting them in freezer bags so I can have them throughout the winter, because there was just too much food, except for the Toscana, like the Olive Garden soup, because that one's going to my parents. And the corn chowder I actually have not tried yet, because I'm currently doing this intro and outro right now, and I made it. Sunday's like a big filming day for me, so, or the weekends are big filming days for me, and today's Sunday, so it's a big filming day for me. So it is over there in the crock pot currently going. I've never made it before, but it's my friend's recipe, and she said that her kids love it, and I already know I'm gonna love it too. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys want to see, I don't know, like breakfast crock pot meals or maybe dessert crock pot meals, let me know, and I will be more than happy to do that. So yeah, let me know if you guys want to see more, because I truly do enjoy making these so much, and I'm doing crock pot videos anyway, so why not? All of the recipes that I use will be linked down below. If I don't have an actual recipe website for it, then I will just list out the recipe in the description box, and all like the ingredients you need, and also all of the directions and stuff like that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Give it a big thumbs up. Throughout this video, there was a hidden hashtag, so make sure you put that hashtag down in the description box. Let me know what the hashtag was, and you guys will be featured and given a shout out in my next crockpot video, whatever that will be. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.